Nottingham Trent University, working with you. Proud sponsors of Working Week.
On Working Week this week, we're at a Nottingham institution.
Yeah, we'll be taking a look behind the scenes. It's a place where I've been many times. It is the Victoria Centre Market.
What do you buy when you go there?
Loads of stuff, mate, loads of stuff.
You don't want to tell me, do you?
No.
I love the job and meeting the people. You get your regulars day in, day out.
Is this personal service where you get to the supermarket and there's just 16-year-olds at the till. And here we've got experienced people.
We'll be looking at the Nottinghamshire firm that makes carriages for horses and sells them all over the world, Des.
We're a niche business. I was in the States in March, meeting a lot of customers out there and creating new opportunities.
Now, you might remember this shop as a DIY shop, but it is now a vintage antique emporium. You're going to love this. That's a mouthful as well, but
I'm laughing that you finally got it right. Well done.
It's the whole experience of it. It's not just about, you know, I'm going there to buy something, or it's I like the tea that they serve, or it's got an ambience.
Oh, we're back. Caught me out there.
as you can see, we're relaxing, sitting in the comfy chairs, taking a look at our best bits over the past year.
And one of my favourite stories, Des, was when we went behind the scenes at the Vicky Centre Market to see what goes on there.
£11, my darling, please.
60 stalls and an astonishing 1.6 million visitors every year. There's been a market here for more than 4 decades, and many of the people working on the stalls have been here for much of that time. Tracy Johnson has worked in the market for more than 30 of them. She turned this cafe into a real family venture. What have you got in today?
2 of my sons, there's normally 3 of them, but one of them's day off today.
How does that feel, you know, having all your family around you working with you?
It's lovely. It's great because they just get on with it and they put 100% in, and it's lovely. Nice atmosphere.
The supermarkets aren't giving what we can give, and that is personal service. We can tell you exactly where our meat comes from. The fish over there can tell you where the fish comes from, and it's all fresh and it comes in daily.
I'm a barber's, I sell fishing tackle, I pierce ears, keep a few walking sticks in for people. In the shop itself, I keep hooks up, reels, stuff people can afford, market sort of stuff.
And you pack it all in here?
10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot. They sort of come in regulars, the wives go and have a cup of tea, the fella gets his hair cut. Sometimes they chat about fishing, sometimes it's about football.
So you could probably be sat in that chair and you could reach a fishing rod, couldn't you?
You can do anything here. In the 3 years I've been here, I've actually had one chap come in, about in his 50s, long hair, wanted smartening up, cut his hair, pierced his ear, sold him a full set of fishing gear. It's had to happen once.
And with stalls still available, there's a chance to set up that business you've always dreamed about.
Stalls depend on size, where they're located in the market. Obviously there's prime positions at the front.
Yes, so right at the front here, yeah.
And frontage. The cheapest one we've got is about £350 a month plus VAT. There's space available, just come and see us.
Well, that's the city centre of Nottingham taken care of, Des, but just to demonstrate the reach of Working Week, we're going to take a look now at the countryside and see a horse and carriage maker.
There certainly is a flavour of royalty about this next clip because they export across the world. It's phenomenal. By the way, flavour of royalty tastes like banana and cream.
We do a diverse range of carriages. From pleasure driving, people just want to trot around the lanes on a Sunday afternoon and enjoy their horses. But our main core business is the competition carriages, which is really the driving trials. The other side of our business is we manufacture high quality metal furniture for the home and conservatory, which crosses over really well with our skills that we have here at Bennington.
And this picture was taken at Mansfield.
It's a family affair at Bennington Carriages, near Newark in Nottinghamshire.
And this is a pair of Shetland ponies that we had, and they were called Dusty and Fusty.
Michael Mart started the business nearly 50 years ago, and it's now run by his two daughters, Sue and Wendy.
So was this the first?
The first.
The first carriage. Dad's still involved in the business. He says he's retired, but he's not. And he's really our leader, you know. He has so many inspiration and so much technology, and he's always pushing the boundaries, really, so we still need him.
Ideal for someone starting.
We used to be in the village in Bennington and had the inspiration and foresight to move up here, which was a great opportunity and a big leap of faith, but we did it.
Really, so how does that feel? Okay? Yeah? Yeah. So again, it's just that small movement, and just think about just moving his head.
I do a lot of coaching here, and we run a lot of have-a-go days, trying to get people into the sport and enjoy the experience.
Come on, you're going to knock that over. I'm going to... Oh no, we're taking the carriage with us.
We made a beautiful Cinderella carriage for Disney for their weddings department, and that was a fabulous opportunity to have, and we work very closely with Disney in Florida. We have clients that just like trotting around the lanes, and we've got the high-profile carriage drivers that compete internationally and win gold medals abroad. We're lucky enough to hold the Royal Warrant for Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, which we got in 1979 and which we still hold today.
I'm surprised you're still here, actually, after that joke about royalty. I thought you might have been hauled off to the tower by now.
Yeah, but what I can do is I can pull the focus right back to working week, because I've been out talking to people about their favourite tips for jobs. Take a look at this. We've got a gentleman right here, his name's Phil. Phil, you've got an interesting story about when it comes to getting a job, because you're in gainful employment now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I was unemployed for about 10 years and I recently started work with an agency. I thought no one else is going to employ me. And they've given me a chance, so I'm really happy.
Ria, I know you've got some... That's a great tattoo, by the way. What's it say?
Thank you. Family, where life begins and love never ends.
When it comes to top tips for getting a job, what are yours?
Basically, you've got to believe in yourself that you can actually do this and have confidence.
Have you got any top tips about getting a job?
Apply for basically anything and everything you can. That's what I did. That's why we're both working at the moment.
Are you happy in the job that you've both got?
Yeah, I am now, yeah. It's good. Good environment.
Love mine, yeah. Friendly people. I really enjoy it, so therefore I love going to work.
Top tips when it comes to getting a job?
Just keep sending CVs out and just keep applying.
Do girls and boys have to do things differently in order to get a job?
No, I just think if you dress smart and make sure you got a bit of makeup on if you're a girl, then yeah, that will give you a good impression, first impression.
Now, as you have a tattoo, can that be a hindrance?
Yes, definitely so. So depending on what job you go for, though, I suppose. But nothing. If you can always cover tattoos up if they're in like certain places. So yeah, don't let it stop you.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Brilliant. Now, one of the things we love to show you here on Working Week are the new things that are happening in Nottingham.
Yeah, and our next item is something that's very new, but in fact it was an old shop, Des. It used to be a DIY shop, and believe it or not, I did actually use it. I bought a few nails there in the past.
Did you?
Yeah, and then hammered my thumb.
Are you into DIY?
No, I'm not at all. I'm useless.
So you hammered your thumb?
Absolutely useless at it. But now Hopkinson's has been reborn as a vintage antiques
emporium.
Mm-hmm. It's so hard to say, we split it between ourselves. You might remember Hopkinson's on Station Street as a hardware seller. Well, now it's a department store selling vintage bric-a-brac and antiques. Rooms which once sold nothing more than screws and nails are bursting with the unusual and the eccentric, all spread over 4 floors.
Was this like the one that they had in that, was it Joey or whatever it was? Can you remember that? It was like the 3 brothers or something. You're too young, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think they're really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really that. 999.
I don't think there's anywhere like this in Nottingham at all. A lot of people come in and say it's like something you'd find in London. It's just really different, genuine vintage and genuine antiques. And yeah, I just don't think there's anywhere quite like it. Nowhere is kind of multifaceted, and you know, it's such a huge building with so much going on.
Hopkinson's prides itself on selling the unusual. Sometimes, though, it can be very unusual.
We've had like Victorian hemorrhoid cream in like boxed brand new before. That was incredibly strange. Found that upstairs one day. So I don't know where that came from or if it had been used or anything, but that was very odd.
It's great, isn't it? I just love it. Absolutely love it.
So the next time you need to lay your hands on some Victorian hemorrhoid cream, or there's that Christmas robbing card you've always wanted to send, Hopkinson is hoping you'll head for them.
Thank you.
Great place that, wasn't it? Remember?
Yeah, I do remember. We had a fantastic coffee there.
Yeah, yeah. And you wore your glasses for the first time on TV. Very brave of you. Where are they now? I'm over here, by the way.
No, you know, I think I might have lost them.
Yeah, deliberately. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, that's it for now. Anyway, in the second half, we'll be taking a look at what it's like to work there at one of Nottingham's biggest employers.
We've got some fantastic officers and some brilliant people.
It's a good feeling to know that you're helping out.
Unless you work for Experian, they don't really understand it and know how big it is.
And people call me mad all the time, but
I'm sorry about that.
It's all right, mate. We'll be looking at a cafe with a theme of a Mad Hatter.
Well, we kind of came here, like, just to get cake. One of our favourite places.
Frank Carson, bless him, told me I was as mad as a hatter buying a coffee shop in a recession. And I told him he'd name my business.
And we'll remind ourselves of the time when we saw Des as we've never seen him before.
I was almost nearly in the buff.
In a spa in the buff.
Talk about a champagne lifestyle and living like a millionaire. I'll be meeting the young man who dropped out of college
and now turns over £1 million a year.
Nottingham Trent University, proud sponsors of Working Week. Nottingham Trent University, proud sponsors of Working Week.
Welcome back, great to see you. I'm really chilling out and relaxing. Wonderful sofas.
Lovely, isn't it? I feel very, very comfortable. And actually, it occurs to me, Des, that we haven't told you where we are.
You don't want to know, that's why, do you? Yes, we do.
We're professionals, and we forgot to mention earlier on the programme, we're actually at what's pretty much HQ for us. This is Antenna in the city centre, a big media centre with a very typically trendy, media-lovey type cafe, which we're very fond of, aren't we?
We're not media-lovey types.
So obviously not us. Everybody else, just not us, yeah.
Yeah, before we natter ourselves into oblivion, we're going to take a next look at one of Nottingham's largest employers. It's called Experian.
Nod sagely. "3,000 people work for Experian across 6 sites spread over Nottingham. They include local boy Kevin Miles, who works in the company's department for helping victims of identity theft.
We deal with victims of fraud, people that have had accounts set up in their name, applications made in their name, even addresses linked to them that they have no idea of.
So someone's stolen their identity and is now using it to get credit?
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, people don't even realise that that's happened until they go for like a mortgage or check the report on the off chance.
Compiling and analysing data about all of us is at the core of Experian's work. The firm's Mosaic programme tots up information to come up with a profile of the kind of people who live in every street in the country.
This is a map of Nottingham. Each one of these little squares is a postcode, and we can see at a lower level, at household level, or in this case at postcode level, what type of neighbourhood each of them is.
So do the colours represent how much money they've all got?
Well, yeah, amongst other things, it's a mixture of things. It's what sort of house do they live in, it's level of affluence or the lack of it, it's whether they've got kids or not. But it's related to lots of other things in terms of the types of jobs they do, the types of cars they drive.
Of course, programmes like this, which are based on personal details about all of us, have a hint of Big Brother about them. So how does Experian respond to claims that it's all, well, a bit sinister?
We look very closely at what we do with information to make sure we're doing the right thing, and there are lots of great examples of how we use the information and the analytics that we do to make the world a better place.
Now this next piece, Des, which you may remember, is one that brings out my Geordie accent a little bit actually, the Mad Hatter. It's the Madhatters Tearoom in Kimberley, remember that?
Yeah, I do remember. I remember your accent.
And appropriately enough, we sent along Alice as our reporter. See what I did there? That was clever, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know which one you want.
The clue's in the name. The Madhatters Tearoom in Kimberley takes its inspiration from the Alice in Wonderland character. And there's no shortage of Mad Hatter links here.
Suits you. Oh, that suits George. He's doing his hair.
And it seems to be drawing in the customers.
No, but he wears like a hat without that.
Well, the name actually came through going out for dinner with friends up in Blackpool, and Frank Carson, bless him, told me I was as mad as a hatter buying a coffee shop in a recession. And I told him he'd name my business. So the theme came from that.
Do you like Alice in Wonderland?
I played Alice.
You did, didn't you?
It was recently voted the most child-friendly cafe in Notts, and Nigel's keen on playing a big role in the community.
You didn't have any homework? Well, next summer I'm going to sort that with Miss Porter.
He's now a governor at the local primary school and has introduced a scheme where children who do well at school are given vouchers to use in the shop.
Have you got some vouchers for me? Thank you very much. Thank you.
So what sort of impact is this having on Kimberley as a community?
Well, I'm hoping that the opening of my little business has brought the community together and the businesses together, and we've had some new businesses open since I've opened the shop.
Secretly, people refer to him as Mr. Kimberley.
Well, my favourite bit is Nigel because he's funny sometimes.
Great place that Des, actually. I can vouch for the chocolate cake. Brilliant.
Yeah, do you know what I remember about that?
What?
Is that across the road...
You weren't there.
I know, but I remember seeing the VT, but I remember it being across the road and in the script as well, because your scripts are so thorough, right? Across the road is a shop that makes little treats for dogs.
Well, meet the luckiest dog in Nottingham. This is Bryn, and he's a wolfhound, as you can see. He's actually almost half the size of me and Alan. Alan's his owner. Alan also runs the shop. And Alan, it wasn't actually Bryn that inspired the business, was it, though? Tell me how it started.
No, it was my sister-in-law's dog. He had a heart condition, and the vet recommended no added salts or sugars to any of his food or treats. And while my sister-in-law was quite happy to make him these plain foods, there was nothing that he could actually have as a treat style. So my wife, who's an excellent baker, said, well, I'm sure I can come up with some recipes. So did a bit of research, looked into what they can and can't have, and it all blossomed from there.
Everything's made to appeal to owners as well as the dogs, but despite the appearances, there are no sugary treats to be had here. Well, Paula is the main baker, or Barker, I think you call yourself, inevitably.
Certainly, yeah.
Paula, so what are you doing at the moment?
I'm making our cheesy grins, which are one of our smaller dog biscuits.
So these are bone-shaped, but what's actually in them then?
Flour from Green's Windmill in Snanton, this cheese, parsley, mint to keep dogs' breath fresh, and eggs, which we also source from Watnall, which is about 2 miles from us.
Alan and Paula have built up a steady stream of customers. Today's visitor, the Reverend Barbara Hopwell, was the first person ever to shop here.
Well, sit then. Good boy. You good boy. Well, they're new. One of those is new, isn't it? There you go.
The ingredients are good. We're giving him treats that aren't going to mess him up.
Thank you very much. What we've got. Come on then.
And how does the dog feel about it?
Oh, he loves it. He loves going in there. He can't wait to get in. As far as he's concerned, if you walk down here, you have to turn left and into the Doggy Deli. He's very disappointed when it's closed.
But he's pining to get in there now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He wants to be in there and see what's happening.
Wait. That's a good boy.
But even making food for dogs attracts red tape these days. The shop is regularly inspected for hygiene, and all of its products have to be approved by the Department for Farming and Rural Affairs. It's a serious business, cooking for dogs.
Okay, you're going to take it nicely. Good boy. Is that nice?
Now, if we're looking back over the year, Des, it wouldn't be complete without the next guy, who is a personal hero.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Do you want to say his name? I'm not worthy.
Listening to his voice, I love it. It's got a dreamy voice, you know.
He is Richard Baker. He's the business editor of the Nottingham Post, and what he doesn't know about the Nottingham economy, frankly, isn't worth knowing. And here he is on the jobs prospects in Nottingham. Richard Mufasa Baker. Mufasa. Richard, how do you see the job situation in Nottingham at the moment?
Well, all the signs have been pretty good. We've seen over the past few months that Nottingham is at the heart of the fastest growing part of the UK economy, and we've seen businesses in survey after survey say that they want to take more people on. We've seen the jobless figures coming down, so on the face of it, things seem to be doing pretty well.
But what kind of jobs are they? People often say that they're just all part-time or temporary.
There are some real concerns about that. There are worries the trade unions have expressed about whether or not there are too many temporary jobs with people on low wages. Now, there are two views on that. Yes, we'd like to see things getting better, but we shouldn't be really surprised that that kind of thing has happened when we come out of recession, because businesses are still quite cautious. It's been very, very difficult for them, and the last thing they're going to do in this situation is take on loads of full-time staff on high wages.
So if you were looking for a job, or if you were looking to change a job right now in Nottingham, what kind of sectors would you be looking at?
I think that what I'd be looking to be is a scientist in coffee. And the reason why I say that is that science is one of those industries that can't be exported. And if we look around us in a place like Nottingham, in fact, where we're standing right now, there seems to be an insatiable demand for people who want to go out and have a cup of coffee. You want to go and work in a coffee shop, you're not going to go wrong.
He's always worth listening to, is Richard Baker.
Yeah, he's on my mind 24/7. He is, he is.
I find that very hard to believe.
In fact, do you know something? Our next link to Richard, I think we should give you something more, Richard.
Like what? A Richard rap?
We should do
a Richard rap.
It won't be crap.
Richard Baker rap, and it won't be crap. Say that. Yeah, you lured me into it. Anyway, what was I going to say now? I was going to say, I wonder if Richard ever sees our introductions to him.
Yeah, I wonder what he thinks.
He can't, because he's still doing the interview, so he can't be watching. But anyway, talking of laughing at people, I had a bit of a laugh earlier this year when I sent Des along to a spa.
This unassuming building hides an entrepreneurial genius. Daniel Thomas dropped out of college a few years ago, set up a hot tub business, and now turns over £1 million a year. I'm going to meet him. Daniel.
Des.
Good to meet you, mate.
How you doing?
You look so young.
I'm trying to be.
So tell me, how did this all start?
So I was in college. It actually had nothing to do with hot tubs at the time. I had a mobile phone and I was looking for a screen protector for it. And online they were selling them for something like 15 quid. I managed to find some guys in China that were selling them for like 20p, brought them in, and that sort of introduced me to products abroad that you could bring in and import. And eventually we sort of ended up selling hot tubs, moving from product to product and finishing off with these.
At the tender age of 26, Dan finds himself in charge of a company dealing with suppliers and customers from around the world, and a team working for him back in Nottingham. What's your name, love?
Bianca.
Bianca. Sounds familiar. Different show. Bianca, what's it like working here?
It's really great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do love it.
When you have an office party, do you all just pile in the tub?
Not be telling, not.
Now though, for the best bit. This guy's fixing me up with a hot tub so I can take a dip. I must admit, relaxing in a hot tub makes you feel like a millionaire. And Rob did say I could chill out after this job, but he also promised me a hot little chick. Not what I was expecting.
Well, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next time when we'll have more behind the scenes news and views of Nottingham's business life.
And we'll also bring you exclusively the Richard Baker rap.
Are you working on that now? Dear, oh dear. I hope it's a solo.
No, we're going to do it together.
Oh dear. You got to see that.
Nottingham Trent University. Working with you. Proud sponsors of Working Week.